How's it going, everyone? So today we are going to review Amp Research's Bedstep 2, and I'll give you some tips and tricks on when you're installing it. For the GM 1500, 2500, and 3500, 14 and 15, mine is a 2016. I'm assuming they'll fit the 17s as well. You'd have to talk to Amp Research to verify that though. But there's two different styles. There's the 5.5 foot bed, passenger and driver side, as well as the 6.5 foot and 8 foot bed lengths, basically your short and long beds on your 25 and 3500s there. Alright, a few things to note on the directions here. Up in the tools list, it does say you need a 1/4 inch drill bit, but when you go to the next page, it says 1/8 inch drill bit, so I'm not sure if that's a typo on their end or what, but I was able to get away with just using a 1/4 inch drill bit to start out, and then step up to the 17/32 drill bit, and we'll get to that here in a second. The other thing to note on the tools required, the 18mm, is really, there's nothing in here that requires an 18mm on the entire directions. Nothing. So I would recommend just starting off by following the directions. It's pretty straightforward and easy. When you get to the first point where you do need to drill, one quick tip for you is using one of these little guys. It's so much easier to use a step drill than it is a normal drill bit. Reason being, a lot of my drill bits that I have, there's so many of them, and this one starts out at, as you can see, 1/4 at the top here and goes all the way to 3/4. I basically just put a piece of tape right at the bottom of 1/2 inch here, because 1/2 inch and 9/16 is right in between the 17/32 size that we need for the rivet nut, so that when I did drill into there, I only went to the 1/2 inch size and then just used a round file to go the rest of the way to the size that I needed for the rivet nut here. Like I was saying, this 9/16 is the size that you need for the nut that they give here for the rivet nut, I guess. And the bolt is a 13mm. Basically what you're going to do is drill the hole with this and then file it to the correct size that you need. If you don't have a 17/32, that is, this will go in the hole, your 9/16 will go on there, and then your 13mm will go on here, and you'll hold the 9/16 and just turn the 13mm, and what that does is it squishes the serrated part here down and basically just creates a nut on the inside. So when you go to drill the first hole, all I did to mark the center point, I didn't have a center punch, so I just used an old dull drill bit and put it up there in the small X on the piece of paper that's provided to you, and just hit it with a hammer real quick just to kind of mark the spot. As you can see on the driver's side here, my fuel return line from my Fast 150 does touch the bracket, but I'm not too concerned about it. I'll check it here in probably a week or so just to see how bad it's rubbing. If so, then I'll put some padding here or put some corrugated tube over it, some electrical corrugated tube, to kind of give it some better coverage. So on the hole for the frame, it's a little bit more difficult since it's basically double wall with the bed bracket being right here at the same time. So I had to go all the way to 1/2 inch and almost a little bit into 9/16 on my step drill bit to be able to get down to enough to be able to file down for the hole big enough for the rivet nut. One thing you also want to make sure of before you completely tighten everything down is that make sure it's even with the bed here, because when I did install the passenger side first, it was a little bit crooked, so I had to loosen everything up. Both sides turned out great. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time.